Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm so sorry about the late review. I've been on holiday. I've got a sore throat. I'll try and do my best to make sure I get through this review. Um, in this episode, it's Married at First Sight season 14, and it's a catch up of where are they now. So it's 5 months after after the reunion, and sort of the couples they're sort of catching up with them to find out what's going on with everybody else. I'll start off with the couples, and then I'll add on the bits at the end. Um, Lindsay and Mark, Lindsay and Mark for me, Lindsay met with her dad, and you could see that her dad, I think, was very in. I think the dad had accepted the idea of Mark marrying Lindsay and was happy for that union because I think he understood his daughter that obviously her mouth tended to get her in trouble, and I think because Mark seems to be a coming force in Lindsay, whereas Lindsay was a whirlwind. I think he felt that he would have made an ideal partner for her. She did catch up with her dad, explained that she was going to see Mark and they were going to sign their divorce papers. And for me, what was interesting was at the end of the conversation with her dad said, please try not to say anything because your mouth is always getting you in trouble. And I think the dad has seen um, the episodes of Married at First Sight, and I think whether or not he didn't want to say anything in front of the cameras, or whether he's had a conversation with his daughter in private, you can tell he is aware of her faults and he's sort of concerned that because of those faults, um, things are just going to get worse. And I think he just wants, for her to sort of redeem her character as compared to how she was portrayed throughout the season. And I was really surprised. I think she apologized, and I think maybe they brushed over the way it was edited in the reunion. But it was nice to see her with Mark. It was nice to see them sit down. They seemed to be in a happy place. And I think Mark, because he's always saying that, he wants to be friends with everyone. He did say he hoped he could be friends with Lindsay. She gave a heartfelt apology, which I think was good as compared to the apology that she gave at the reunion. I think it took a lot of self-reflection. In my opinion, to some extent, I think Lindsay's in counseling, whether or not she said it out loud, because the way she was so mellow was a switch from what we saw throughout the season. And it's shocking that she could just go from left to right without any intervention from anyone, unless she's seen herself and how she came across throughout the season. And so she's decided to turn a new leaf. But for me, I loved where they ended their relationship. And the fact that they got divorced, and even when they met up as the whole group, you could see she was sort of leaning towards Mark for support because she didn't feel comfortable. And I think because she was trying not to get herself in trouble with anybody else, she was trying to sort of lean between sort of Mark and Olajuwon because I think those are her two closest sort of friends in the house. She did sort of come across to get along with Michael, which was good. She actually voiced out that she gets along better with the boys than she does the girls. And so for me, I'm really sad that they didn't work, and I think there's too many burnt bridges for them to ever sort of one day come back together again. I know Stephen Noy said Mark with one of his with Steve and his sister said that Mark was one of his sister's friends, and for me, I don't think it was an ideal match really per se because I think as much as they wanted to help Mark, I think Mark needs to go out and find himself a partner and find someone sort of who will make him happy and has the qualities of what he's looking for in a wife. Um, I don't think that lady seemed to be a nice lady, but I don't think she's the right fit for him. Mark really sort of finds what he's looking for in a partner. I know he's someone who was really keen to settle down and he's tried the marriage at first sight experience and sadly it's failed. I know he did initially state that he initially applied the previous season, so he must have previously applied in season 6. Didn't get selected, and this time he thought, things would work out. But unfortunately, with Lindsay, things didn't work out. He did highlight, though, that, Lindsay had been good for him and she had helped him really sort of make some significant changes in his life. So I hope they have, if nothing else, I hope they have a very good friendship that will continue from there. From there, we move on to Olajuwon and Katina. As you've known throughout the season, I've always said there's something a bit off for me with Olajuwon and Katina, and I don't quite get their relationship and sort of where it's coming from or where it's going to. Um, for some reason, it seems Olajuwon has autocorrected way too much. I don't know whether it's because he's seen how he was portrayed, he came across throughout the season, and he's trying to sort of redeem his own character. Because it seemed a lot of people were trying to autocorrect whatever they saw on TV and they didn't like about themselves. It seems that they've gone the opposite end of the pendulum and sort of try to fix those things in this Where Are They episode, and it's really sad. I wish everybody had just been their authentic self. Um, Katina seemed to be the more vocal one, and I don't know whether they did this because the audience was complaining that Olujon seems to railroad Katina and never gives her the opportunity to speak. In regards to their relationship, they say they're getting along, they say their marriage is working. I still don't get their relationship. I'm sorry to say. I still don't get their relationship. I still don't see the growth in their relationship. I know when they met up as old couples, Olajuwon did help in the kitchen with the cooking, but and they did say they were traveling, they were planning on buying a home, they were going to start a family at some point. But for me, as I've always said, it's either they've hidden their growth or something is there's been a lot of information that's been left out because of the drama from Olajuwon. I don't know. Um, from there, we then they met up with one of my favorites. Jeffy and Shanice were always my favorite because I think they're the first couple I fell in love with on Married at First Sight and actually saw their growth and their development. Even though everybody was bashing Jeffy, I always was, cheering for Jeffy and could see his growth, even if the editing didn't show it. But if you really paid attention to his nonverbals, you could see his growth. So Jeffy met with Michael and Olajuwon. And I didn't quite get the reason for the meeting because I expected more of a conversation between Jeffy and the other guys. And I think he did try his best to sort of reassure them. And I don't know whether it was the editing that took away the vital content, the information as to the wisdom that Jeffy could have imparted to these people, having gone through sort of having faced a lot of backlash during his season. And I don't know whether they just producers decided to not show that because I think if anything else, Jeffrey should have given Olajuwon the tools to cope with his marriage because Jeff and Shanice nearly broke up because of the backlash from the show, and they were able to sort of work on their relationship. The show was able to create, Married at First Sight was able to create a special to help them sort of build on their relationship. So I don't know what happened with them. I still don't get Olajuwon and Katina, but hey, that's me. I wish them all the best. They seem happy in their relationship. Um, Stephen Noy Stephen Noy seemed to be doing great. They were talking about, Steve was concerned that Noy is having unrealistic expectations. He was still trying to persuade Noy to move in with him. I don't get why Noy can't just move in with him. I really don't get it because at that point, she should know how much he's making and what he's doing, to earn income. So I don't get why she would still not be living with him and why she would be um sort of uh, continue to live with somebody else, continue to live in her own flat, even although after the renovations, she did highlight that, she was looking forward to moving in with him. It felt more like home. But then you think she would want to stay with him in the home and make the changes. But hey, that's me. I think she's sort of willing to compromise on regards to the children after spending time with Steve's nieces and nephews. Stephen Noy I always knew from the start that we'll have a successful relationship, and I think Steve is compromising quite a lot because I think for him, um, he sees a long-term relationship with Noi, but I think Noi also has to compromise to allow them to have sort of um, form a union and be able to agree on things that they're going to do in regards to their marriage, and for them as partners to both feel fulfilled and that they're not giving up way too much of themselves. But that's me. Um, from there we go to Jasmina and Michael for me. I'm really heartbroken that they broke up. To be honest, I'm really heartbroken that they broke up because if anyone in this season sort of showed growth, in their relationship, and if anyone puts in a lot of work, it's Jasmina and Michael. But I think for every two steps that they're taking forward, Jasmina was sort of, to some extent, was pulling them back three steps. And I think because of her attitude and the way she spoke, she eventually turned Michael off. And she just got to the point of saying, okay, let's just go through the process until we get to divorce, and that's it. Because even when they met, when all the couples met and they sat down and they had a conversation, Michael was trying to get her to take, because after speaking to Jeffy sort of encouraged him to sort of speak his mind and sort of make sure that he aired out anything he wanted, sort of aired out and not leave anything on the table. And you could see with the way Jasmina kept going back and forth about, oh, I did this and I did that and I did this and you didn't do. And it's just like, it's not a competition. It's not really a competition. This man is trying to you speak, and this is one of the reasons why you're getting divorced. And you sort of keep brushing over him. And I think she did see the comments from the audience, because um, one of the things that she said that sort of caught my ear was the fact that she said, "Oh, I promise, with my next guy, I won't be as horrible. I'll be very good to. I know you said I treat Michael horribly, but I will be very good to my next partner. The issue with Michael's the communication." And for me, it's like, I don't think the issue is the communication. I think, as the audience said, oh, she didn't feel attracted to him, but Michael, in my opinion, had a lot of redeeming qualities, a lot of redeeming qualities that, had she paid attention and stopped focusing on the minor things, like, oh, I'm not physically attracted. He was a great guy that the experts had set her up with. And I hope, if nothing else, she doesn't regret her decision and how she treated him, because, in my opinion, she's going to regret it. And I hope, if nothing else, she goes to counseling, learns about herself, and has enough time to sort of get back to Michael and sort of build something with him, because I think he would make her an amazing partner. And it's sad that she can't see what the experts saw in Michael. But that's just me. And then Chris and I'm a very nice person, Alicia. Personally, I agree with the rest of the audience that I don't understand why we still get to see Alicia on our screens. I understand seeing Chris, but I don't understand seeing Alicia. I know she apologized to him. I think most of them, their apologies were not intended, or the way they tried to rebuild their relationship was not intended for their partner or whoever they were apologizing to, but it was more for sort of to redeem their character, given how they were edited or how they came across throughout the season. But that's just me. And then that's all the couples. Um, it's really sad. I think, if nothing else, I hope Lindsey and Mark, I think, and Lindsey would have complemented each other very well, had Lindsey not been very sort of aggressive with her speaking. And it's sad that they got divorced. I think Jasmine and Michael were another couple that I was hoping would stay married, but it's sad that, because of it's sad. Normally, it's normally the guys that are the problem, and it's sad that this season it was mainly the girls that were the problem. So I really don't know how they can go forward and how they can sort of try and choose females that are really ready for marriage and that are really willing to put in the work. Because, if nothing else, I wish I wish they could bring in couples from previous seasons that have faced challenges, to sort of have us sit down with the couples as they go through the experiment and sort of answer questions. Because I think Jasmina and Michael would have benefited from sitting down with Jamie and Doug and Shanice and Jeffy, because they are the people that had the most challenging relationships and were able to, because they were willing to put in the work to build relationships with a strong foundation. But that's just me. Anyway, I in regards, there's something else that I've noticed. I know last season we had the people that didn't have successful marriages be matched up with some people, but I think production has decided that instead of getting random Joes, they're going to use people from past seasons, which I don't get. I've already discussed Mark and the lady, that's Steve and Steve's sister's friends. Um, I think she's an okay somebody, but I don't think she's the right partner for Mark. So I hope he finds somebody, and I hope they're able to build something that lasts a long time. And then um for Ryan and I'm a very nice person, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand that relationship. I think production spoke to the producer spoke to Ryan and found out and asked if he was willing to um play boyfriends with with Alicia, and sadly it seemed Alicia was more in love with the idea of Ryan than Ryan was, and it was willing to, was willing to put in any work. Or I don't think I don't think he was in love with Alicia. I think he was willing to play along, and I think he like some of the other previous spouses have a relationship of catching up with people who've been through the experiment and sort of having conversations with them and just guiding them through the process and explaining to them how things are. For me, I didn't get why he was there. I really didn't get why he was there. And I really didn't understand the drama with Alicia being upset that, oh, why is he friends with Lindsay? If you look at previous spouses, especially Anthony and who's married to Christine, you can see that they befriend, even on Instagram, they're friends they follow most of the people that have been on Married at First Sight. And I think Keith said he likes to catch up with people and just, have a chat and sort of tell them what to expect or sort of help guide them through the next stage after the show. And so I don't get why she was upset. If it had been that Lindsay was um Ryan, then she would have been upset, but Lindsay, it seemed, was more of a friend. And it seemed the I don't think it's any of the people on the previous spouses that told her. I think it was the producers trying to create drama. And because when Alicia walked off, you could see um, Ryan was not with the games, and they actually said, "I'm not with the drama. I can be friends with whoever I want to be friends with." And I think he wasn't buying into it. And the producers, I think, felt let down because after flying Ryan all the way, only for Alicia to throw a tantrum and storm off. I think they should have left her alone, really. They should have left her alone and just left her to carry on with whatever she was up to. But that's just me. Um, and then Olivia and Chris. I remember during the season I had an issue with Olivia. I think Olivia is, what can I say? I think I had an issue with the sense that yes, her partner was a very bad husband, but I think she has a way of getting away with things because she says them very nicely and says them with a smile on her face, so people don't see the slight jabs that she takes or how sort of controlling she can be, if I'm not mistaken, from her season. But that's just me. Um, and so she seems like a great partner when you look at her on paper, and it seems like there's more to their relationship, unlike um Ryan and Alicia, just because she told Chris that, oh, we have to sleep in separate bedrooms because Alicia's here. And I didn't why would they need to sleep in separate bedrooms? Why would they need to have that conversation if they have not been sleeping? I think this relationship has been going on for a while, and I think it's been going on for a while, but the producers were trying to make it seem like it's something new so that, it doesn't create a lot of questions per se. Um, so I like Chris. You were able to see him sort of in a relationship where he was very protective over Olivia, because I remember him saying, "Oh, I don't want her to feel uncomfortable," and you could see the qualities that he has. And I think, if nothing else, Alicia and Jasmine are going to regret dumping the way they treated these guys, because these were very good young men for them, and instead of them um sort of working to build something with them, they decided to sort of play a fool, more or less. They decided to um, they decided to 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 just I think Alicia had, after seeing Ryan. Ryan was the man that she wanted, and he's the man that she described because she said he had all the qualities that she wanted in a partner. He was, the ideal match for her, and so on and so on. He was heartbroken when it turned out that he was friends with Lindsay. With Olivia and Chris, I hope it works out for them, but long term they'll be a very boring couple. They'll be the next Justin and Austin, Jessica and Austin. Sorry to say, because I really don't see anything about them that would complement the other, but I could be wrong. Anyway, that's it for this season. It's been an up and down season. It's sad that the girls have sort of Alicia, Jasmina, um, Lindsay, and to some extent Katina, and even Noi herself have not portrayed themselves in the best possible light. Some to a worse extent than others. But anyway, I don't know. We'll see what next season brings. I wish them all the best and hope they're able to find someone else who, likes the same things as them and is able to form a union with them. Anyway, it was that's season 14 for you guys. See you next time. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye.